All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Run.Down. I'm your host Tyrese, joined by Khan. Knicks lose 114 to 112 to the Golden State Warriors. Very interesting game, I would say. Pretty much a tale of two halves. In the first half, I thought the Knicks played really good defense to Steph Curry, and then in the second half, they did not play really good defense to Steph Curry. That kind of summed up the game, and that kind of summed up why the Knicks kind of let it slip away towards the end of the third, and then in the fourth, they kind of let go of the rope completely. Um, I thought OG Anunoby had a really good game, 29 points, 3 assists, 3 steals. I thought he got after it offensively. I thought he was kind of the only reason why they were in the game for the most part. Brunson had came on towards the end, but it wasn't really that effective. 25.7 assists. I think the three ball has abandoned the Knicks for the most part. Mikal Bridges went 1 of 5. Jalen Brunson went 1 of 7. Deuce didn't hit one. Josh Hart went 0 of 4. Like, they just could not buy threes. And transition defense was hard to come by. They kind of got beat a lot. But yeah, a lot of things to talk about. But first, ad read. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, Con, what did you think about the game?
I thought that Josh Hart finishing with 33 minutes was far too much. I think he's been playing nearly his worst stretch of basketball as a Knick in the last I don't know what you want to call it, 5 games. Um,
Yeah.
just total space cadet stuff on defense. Curry beat him backdoor a couple times, I believe. Um, the offense has really been just downright nasty. There's been nothing provided on offense. I remember we were playing the Grizzlies um, right before Brunson's heroics and the OG shot. He had the ball right around the top of the key, and he's just pounding the rock, pounding the rock. Shot clock goes down to like 4 seconds, takes a couple steps in, keeps pounding the rock, shoots a pull up jumper from right behind the free throw line, misses it. Then he puts his hands up, like blaming everybody, like, why is it nobody moving? Why is it nobody doing none of this, none of that? It's like, Josh, nothing is ever going to get done if you don't make a decision on what to do, right? Like, you're thinking so much about what you're going to do that nothing ends up ever happening, right? Because you're not going to make nothing happen. So between that, the indecisiveness at pretty much all three levels, um, and then like it's affecting his playmaking. It seems like the playmaking hasn't been there. Tonight he had 3 assists. The rebounding stuff, Cat's out. Mitch played 15 minutes. He only grabbed 8 boards. So in a game like tonight, I really didn't feel like Josh gave you anything, really. So 33 minutes for him, 24 minutes for Deuce, who probably should have been the primary defender on Steph all night. It just doesn't add up to me. I think Tibbs really dropped the ball on that one. Um, that's my biggest complaint from today.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first half, I think Mikhail did his job really well on Curry. I thought he played it really well. The second half, it was just the shot started to go down, and it kind of feels like at that point, maybe you could switch something up. I think with all the defenders that you have at your disposal, I think you should be able to try different looks, and the Knicks just do not try different looks, and that's kind of been a criticism of the team where it's the Knicks have their fastball, and if you can hit the fastball, you can beat the Knicks. And if you can't hit the fastball, then you're not beating the Knicks. And Tibbs threw out his fastball, and in the first half it worked. And in the second half, we kept getting shelled.
Yeah,
Um, Tibbs is MDS, but like, yeah, I just did not understand a lot of the logic in the moves that were made. this
There's
game.
there's a lot more that I can complain about too. Like the 30 minutes of Precious when I would not bat an eye at playing OG at the 5 against Draymond. Like that was odd to me. And truth be told, Draymond at the 5 against Kevon Looney, I'm not scared at all. Draymond, OG at the 5 against Quentin Post doesn't move me. Like,
Yeah, like Quentin Post gave them nothing. Like, I'm sorry. I
it's
don't understand why we're coaching against Quentin Post.
so that stuff was frustrating. Down the stretch offense, frustrating once again. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more too, but I don't want to just be the only one tossing out the takes over here. So
Yeah, this felt like an opportunity to where you could be more creative with lineups since you are missing Cat, and there isn't a fourth center on the roster, so you're gonna have to get a little bit creative. I thought you could have thrown out some different looks. Yeah, it just kind of felt like the Knicks still tried to operate as much as an autopilot as they can. I thought the Mitchell Robinson shifts were largely uninspiring. It just kind of felt like he played one shift in the first quarter, one shift in the second quarter, started the third, played one shift towards the end of the fourth, and it's like if he is going to be on this 15-minute to 18-minute restriction, I do understand you do need to like give him breaks. You do need to ease him in, but I feel like you can be more creative in those shifts. Also, like, I mean, honestly, probably would have just started Precious. I think the shifts would have been more impactful. Even though I don't think Precious is good, I think it would have made sense to start Precious this game and then like probably bring in Mitch with more of the bench unit, just to kind of give that unit a spark because that unit was struggling for offense, especially in the fourth quarter where it was kind of just OG trying to create shots off the dribble, and then they had no way to generate decent offense. So maybe they could have juiced the offensive rebounding. But yeah, I did not like what the Knicks did in the second half, and it just kind of felt like the first half was a lot of shooting luck.
yeah, I didn't fully address him before, and you gave him some credit, but I didn't mean to say Deuce should have been the primary guy and stuff because I thought McHale did a bad job. I thought McHale did a pretty good job all night, really. It's just that we saw a game last year where in Golden State, Steph couldn't get Deuce out of his back pocket, right? And he was just there all game in his chest on every shot, every dribble, every whatever. So I thought just off of that game alone, having a little bit of the proof of concept from last season and then having no Cat like we've talked about probably would have penciled him in for 30 plus. I guess not the way things roll. Obviously with Tibbs during times like these. I thought Shamit was like obviously he only hit one shot, right? He went 2 or 3 from the field, but I feel like Shamit's been coming around. What do you think about Shamit? Or do
I
you
think
just not
Shamit has
really
been
care?
good. I think he's been
Okay.
solid. I think he's doing his job. Like that's all you kind of need him to do is do his job. On the season, I think he's trending towards an average true shooting, which again, like, does not sound like a lot, but the fact that he's trending toward average is pretty encouraging, considering that he's coming back from the dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
And like I thought his defense was active. I think he has been really good inside the arc. He's definitely still riding back into form, but I think he's a player you could give like a couple 5-minute shifts to, who could play a little bit of the 2, a little bit of the 3, and I think he does pretty well. I think Campaign has been struggling a little bit, but I still feel like he's been giving them positive minutes. Like I don't think the bench minutes struggled. I think they could have been better optimized, but I don't think they really struggled. And it just kind of stinks that like they really had no answer for Jimmy Butler in the second half or Steph Curry in the second half.
It still didn't feel like Jimmy Butler really excuse me, like I didn't feel like he ever really tried to go into an extra gear tonight. I don't know if he doesn't have it, which I mean, we didn't really get to see much in Miami because he was protesting their organization for half the season. So things have just been weird with him. I don't know. It seemed like he didn't really care about tonight, and then he still ended up having whatever it was for him. 19, 4-4, on 50% shooting. So I don't know, man. I really thought that they were containing him for almost the entire game, and then I looked down, he has 20 points. So
yeah.
that was just like a shock to me. I didn't really think at any point in the game Jimmy was ever going to get close to 20 points.
I think it was just like the fourth quarter game, and then he just got so many free throws, and that kind of just like killed the Knicks' momentum because they couldn't get baskets, and then every time they went down the other end of the court, Jimmy Butler was getting fouled, and that just kind of created a bad situation for the Knicks. Jordan Bub, Josh Hart's been shooting 22.5% from three in the year 2025. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, that brother is cooked.
That move to the bench will come sooner. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like when Mitch is decent, but I do think that you're probably going to see Josh Hart on the bench. John Leary, never thought we would win this one when first half Warriors had bad shooting luck. Scoring was tough with Harden pressure on the court. Yeah, like that's also a thing too, where it's like Harden pressures on the court again, and it's like it's hard to optimize the rotations when you have Josh Hart shooting the way he is. Mitch are all like 3 of your 9 rotation players can't shoot. That's an issue. That's an issue. Like it's hard to build rotations around that, scheme around that, because at the end of the day, like guys need to fill in minutes, and you're not going to Pacome Dadier or Tyler Kolek and going, hey, we need you to get on the court. Like it's just really hard to scheme around that.
And in actuality, right, like when you're looking at the roster, you're thinking, okay, Cat comes in, Precious loses all those minutes. Hart theoretically should not be a non-shooter, but it's one of his stretches where he thinks he's a non-shooter, so he becomes a non-shooter. As annoying as it may be for all of us, right? And like, hopefully Brunson and Matt fucking Hillman can call him out on the podcast again, because I don't know, man. It's frustrating. He's shown time and time again that when he's pulling it with confidence and he's putting his attempts up, he's honestly shooting better in those times than when he's selective. So I just you're not like gonna get benched for it, because you don't get benched. You don't. It's Tibbs.
Yeah, like you're not gonna get benched. Like you have the greenest light of anybody in the team aside from Brunson and Cat. Like you're not gonna get benched because they need your rebounding. You play 36 minutes a night, 37 minutes a night. Clearly you have a valuable skill set. And I'm not saying he's a bad player, but it's like when he refuses to shoot and he refuses to give you effort on defense, and then he's playing the way that he's playing, where it's just like everything looks like it's a struggle for him, then he becomes a destructive player. But when he's playing the way he did earlier in the season, then it's like, well, you can't take this guy off the court because he's fucking incredible. And it's like all of that comes back to the confidence within the shot. Because if he's shooting well, then he's legitimately an all-star caliber player. And then when he's not shooting well, he's the guy that you pull really, really quickly to make sure he doesn't tank the rest of your minutes.
Yeah, I don't see it's hard to see like a light at the end of the tunnel with this stuff, because ultimately the guy who determines when we make it out of this tunnel is Josh himself. So not to be like hyperbolic or dramatic or whatever, but it's bad. It's just bad. When he's not feeling good, when he's not confident, it's bad for everybody. So, 2 points tonight in 33 minutes, 1 of 8 from the field. It's just not gonna ever work out that way. When you get between him and Deuce, 3 of 15 from the field for 8 points, it's like you can't really win like that, especially when Cat's out.
Yeah. John Leary anticipated until the game was essentially over to put OG at 5. Yeah, like it like you could have tried out the different looks. Especially if you can play OG 41 minutes, and you have to play 41 minutes of him at the 4. I don't understand that. Yeah. Jordan Bub, Tom Middleton talks about what went wrong for the Knicks in the second half. We were low energy coming out to start the third. They made up that ground real fast. I mean, I get that, but it's also like you're not giving yourself a chance to be successful. And
that's a cop out, man. That's a cop out. That's a cop out because you had everything in your control to pull the guys who did not start the third quarter with energy. And you did not do it because they're your guys, even though as the coach of this team, everybody on this fucking team should be your guy 1 through 15 because you're the damn coach. So the thing with him playing like player X, Y, and Z 40 minutes because they have to, it's so dumb, man. Like, I get it if it's scheme stuff. I get it if you're matching minutes with somebody. But complaining about effort and energy and not pulling guys who were low effort and low energy and weren't, they're lacking attention to detail and all this stuff, that's completely controllable. That's your job to manage them. It's your job to pull them if they have no energy. And then you're going to bitch and moan about it in the presser? It's fucking bullshit to me.
Yeah, like, if you see Josh Hart struggling, pull him. Pull him. You could switch up shifts. You can change rotations around. It just kind of feels like when he hits a wall, then it becomes, well, we got to upper effort and energy. And it's like sometimes you got to switch some shit around. Sometimes you got to optimize, dude. Sometimes you need to change on the fly. You need to adapt as a coach. And I think Tibbs as a whole has failed to really press the button that he needs to press for this team. This team is still good because they have the talent that they have, but he's been coasting. For the most part, he's been coasting. He's been coasting on the talent, and he's been coasting on the fact that Jalen Brunson has been a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah. And it's probably even more than that, right? It's probably like top 6, 7.
Yes.
And it's made higher than that.
He should realistically be first team All-NBA. Like, he's going to win clutch. Like, Jalen Brunson has been bailing this team out all season. All season. He has won them games they shouldn't have won. He has brought them into games that they should not have been competitive in. And this team is legitimately being built around the fact that Jalen Brunson, like, he's being propped up by the fact that Jalen Brunson is as good as he is. Like, he should make first team All-NBA. He should actively be thought of as one of the 7 best players in the league, arguably one of the 5 best players in the league. Like, he's in that conversation. And Tom Thibodeau has just essentially, like, not been able to press the buttons that he needs to press. And last year he did it perfectly because guys were injured. It wasn't perfect? No. Like, we saw the pressure starts that happened, and those were horrible. But then he, like, brought in Deuce in the starting lineup, and we saw that worked. He benched Grimes. He brought in Dante, and it's like, you have to try different things. And he hasn't tried different things all year. He's just kind of ran up the same 5. And then when somebody's hurt, he's brought in Precious. And it's not worked. And it hasn't been effective. Yeah.
When you brought up the All-NBA thing, I was thinking, who would I give the 5 All-NBA spots to? And it's like SGA, Giannis, Jokic. Those are the 3, right? And then, like,
Tatum and Brunson.
Who's obvious.
Tatum and Brunson.
Yeah. Like, Cade's not getting it over him. Doncic has been way too hurt. LeBron just, I don't know, probably not, but, like, they might give it to him.
They're going to give it to LeBron because LeBron is doing this at age 40. But, like, Brunson has been better than LeBron of the season. He's been better than Donovan Mitchell. I don't really want to hear those conversations. Yeah, like, if it's not LeBron, it's Brunson. But that's kind of where I'm at. But it's probably going to be LeBron because he's doing it at age 40, and that's the GOAT. So I'm going to let the GOAT rock. But, yeah. Mikal Bridges with a -21 tonight. He's a -37 since February 1st. I don't think Mikal's been bad. I didn't think he played bad. I think, the threes didn't go down. You would like to see him at least try to look for a shot more with Cat out. But I thought his defense was fine. I'm not really taking too much away from Mikal Bridges. Hawkeye 420 has Josh Hart been good since January 1st. I don't think he's been good since the All-Star break. I think he was good in January. I think since the All-Star break and his knee issue, like, he has been really atrocious for the Knicks. Like, even the game before the All-Star break, the Atlanta game, like, he was bad. His last, like, really, really good game was Indiana when he had, like, 30 and 10.
That was a great game, by the way, like, just to watch in general. I miss those days.
I know. The days of a month ago. But like I do think part of it maybe has to do with the fact that like his knee might be bothering him, but that feels like a cop out. It's just like you have to play better. You have to play better in those situations.
If your
And
knees bother you, just fucking chill for 10 more minutes. Like, I respect the shit out of Josh Hart, man, and like I love that guy. But there's a point where you're playing injured, right? And then you're playing injured but also hurting the team. And if you're playing injured but hurting the team, then you got to sit a little bit more. It's
yeah,
like it can't be like an ego thing where you're like, no, like I'm gonna play 35 minutes because I'm I got the jersey on tonight. It's just stupid. It's just stupid, and then it makes people like not see the value in you because that's all they can think about. Like all the times you're indecisive and you stagnate the offense and you take bad jump shots with 2 seconds left on the clock, stuff like that.
yeah. We shot shades of third quarter Warriors and somehow ended the quarter down 1, and then after the fourth was somehow as bad as the lineup. Yeah, I mean, like the lineup of the fourth just didn't make any sense to me. I don't know why OG Anunoby had to play the entire like second half essentially. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, why would you just put in McHale? Just put in McHale. Like, this is my problem with McHale is he needs to be more aggressive, and he needs to be in lineups that make him more aggressive. And he just decides to do fadeaways, and it's like, dude, you are 6'6". You kind of have to play like you're 6'6", and he just has not been able to do that the entire season. He's playing timid and scared, and it's like, you are really good inside the arc. You're a credible shooter. Like, nobody's gonna ignore you when you shoot, and you can get to the free throw line. I've seen you do it. I saw you do it in Brooklyn, where you average 6 free throws a game.
Yeah.
I've seen you do it in Phoenix where you average 3. How are you averaging 1? How are you averaging 1 at 6'6"?
And there's a whole lot of times too where like this stands out to me because it was the first game of the season. When we got down big against Boston, game 1, and we kind of made a bit of a dent in it. McHale was going to the hoop on
Yes.
almost whoever was on him. And there's been times this year where he goes to the hoop with almost whoever on him. And as long as they're not like a 7-footer, he's getting shots up over them because you do not have longer arms than this guy. And his touch is good. His package is really good. Pause. Whoa.
Pause.
His layup package is really good.
Whoa.
Fuck, dude.
Somebody clip that.
His layup package is really good. And he has multiple ways to finish around the basket. Okay. And it just doesn't make sense. Like you said, he's averaged the free throws before. When he's aggressive, not many people are stopping him from getting to his spot. And there was times today where there wasn't really a rim protector that you should be respecting in the game for the Warriors. Like Kevon Looney, I know he's been on finals teams where he's played in big games, but Kevon Looney is not somebody who should influence the decision on Mikal Bridges' drive. So to see him be coming off of cuts, screens, whatever you want to call it, and doing his little pivot dribble where he does the half spin into the fadeaway with Kevon Looney by the rim just doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of them went down tonight. He had a good game overall, 15, 4, and 4, I think it was. He mixed it up on the boards, I thought, for the first time in a long time. Like, he had a lot of physical rebounds, but it's just like you got to draw fouls. You got to draw fouls on a night where you don't have Cat. You got to everybody has to step up. OG stepped up. You had to step up and be more aggressive. And you did it in some facets of the game, but you didn't do it on offense, and that's where we needed it most because our second best offensive player wasn't there.
Yeah. Jordan Butts was having for Tibbs defenders. If he gets a better roster and more chemistry with starters next year and he still does the same thing again, what would the excuses be this time? I mean, there wouldn't be any. I don't think he has excuses this year. I understand he's a little bit short-handed. I do think there's opportunities for him to kind of mix and match his lineups, but he kind of just rides the same rotation patterns, and you've seen the Knicks struggle as a result. He's going to obviously start next season. I don't think he's really in any danger of being fired. The team is too good. They're going to win 50 games. they're probably going to be competitive in the second round series against Boston. And that's kind of the barometer you're asking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do think that next season there needs to be more of a microscope on Tibbs and his performance and the team's performance as a whole.
It's funny how
zoning.
By the way,
Sorry.
I'm just watching a clip of them out of a timeout or going into a timeout. Budenholzer trying to talk to KD. KD just like shrugs him off. They're so fucked.
Yeah, they're so good. That's a very good team. KD's at the Garden though.
Oh my god, yeah. We're gonna do something bad to you.
It's either KD or AD, one of the two. We're getting Carl up out of here. Zoning permit will be interesting to revisit head coach discussion at the end of the year. We're thinking about getting outplayed by our coaches and intent on losing with his guys. Yeah, there will be conversations. The conversations will be very short. You'll be like, fire Tibbs, and then Leon's going to be like, no comment. And then Tibbs is going to do the presser for it. Also, the defense for that Santos 3-ball after OG misses free throws was comical. Warriors bench was laughing at that breakdown. Why are we so bad at transition defense? At least make them work. Yeah, I wish I knew.
Another thing where the effort's bad and the coach can't do anything about it because something. I don't know. Like, your Tibbs seeing that, and then you complain about it in the post game instead of fucking doing something about it, man. Oh my! I just it doesn't make any sense, and I hate when people don't do common sense shit. That's all.
Not week 1 in the season either. The transition defense issue has been there all year, and Josh just floats up once the defender goes home. But I agree. Yeah. Hawkeye 420, we're sure it's Carl out of here, not one of Josh and McHale. Josh is not getting traded, and McHale did just trade 5 picks for. Both their contracts are better than Carl's.
But I'll say this, though. Josh should not be like this super comfortable fucking whatever just because they have a podcast, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that podcast might get blown up. But it won't happen until, like, the Knicks have exhausted every other option. Like, I feel very confident in, like, aside from Brunson and, like, OG. If I were, like, ranking it right now, I'd probably say, like,
OG at all. You think OG is dead? Is like never leaving here?
No, hell no, yeah. no.
Okay.
Like, the entire point of getting OG was the fact that, like, he's the best 3-and-D wing in the league. Like, you can't replace that. You cannot replace that. You can replace McHale, but McHale's contract is just really good. So, like, you won't get rid of McHale. And Josh Hart is good. Like, the contract is nice. And he also has a club option. And that's why I'm like, they're probably going to keep those guys before they keep Carl. Because Carl is the guy that they probably want to trade for, like, another max guy.
Yeah. Also, hope everything's okay with Carl. Jordan Woods tweeted fuck cancer. So, never want to, never want to think too much about what could be going on, but we just want to say, thinking about him.
Yeah. Jalen Brogdon talks about the way OG and Anunoby played tonight, the way he's been playing, and the way he came out today was special. I think OG's been in a really good stretch since the Memphis game, I want to say. Like, since the Memphis game, I think he's been playing really good basketball, which is really good to see. Feels like he woke up. Omar, nothing against you fellas, but I haven't enough with McHale just doing his job. We need a lot more than this, especially when Cat is out. We didn't trade all those picks for him to just be okay. We traded all those picks because we didn't want to trade Deuce McBride. Also, I don't really care too much about the picks. Like, 2 of those picks are going to be gone this season. I don't care about a pick in 2027. I do think he needs to be better, but ultimately, like, I think he's played fine. Like, I think he's given effort. I think he's played good defense. Like, I think he's been fine. He could be better, obviously. I'm not saying he shouldn't be better, but I do. I never said the picks matter. I didn't care about the picks. I never cared about the picks. I've said it aloud. I've said it.
Yeah, you have said that. I've
literally said I don't care about the picks.
I care about the picks a lot more than I think you do. And even from my perspective, I would just say that I've talked about this. I don't know if it's been with Omar in the Discord, but I think at some point Schwinn has brought it up too. It's not just that we traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. It's we traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges because we needed OG insurance. We needed somebody to guard the ball in the starting lineup. We wanted to keep Deuce on the bench and not have to put him in the starting lineup, right? You wanted his contract that's $20 million and what made the Cat acquisition possible without going to the second apron. You wanted to bring him in because he'll extend right on a value deal because we have Brunson and Josh Hart here. All like the X, Y, and Z stuff just like keeps piling on. So
and also like it got Brunson to probably sign that extension, and you traded Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is out for the season and is probably going to retire.
Yeah, he's going to play in the EuroLeague for a
like for everything that associated with that deal, especially when you could not trade Mitch because he was broken. You could have traded Julius or Dante because those guys were part of the cap package. And you had nothing else of value. Like, we didn't even have enough salary to make that deal work until we had to sign and trade dudes. That kind of just shows you like how limited the Knicks were in terms of being able to really acquire like top end talent. So yeah, they gave up more picks than they probably should have in a normal deal, but that wasn't a normal deal. So, and again, they gave up 2 2025 picks, and both of those picks are garbage, and I don't really care about them.
And let's dive a little bit deeper into that, right? So you gave up those 2025 picks. It's been talked about, at least from what I read from Prez, because Prez is the only draft source I have, honestly, because the NFL draft is way better. Let's be honest.
Yes.
This class sucks this year, apparently.
Yes, like there's no depth. There's no depth in it. Like you have Cooper Flag, you have a couple of dudes in the lottery who like would have gone number 1 last year, and I think that's where people say the depth is coming from. But like aside from Flag, who's a good prospect, but he's not like again, I think he's a really good prospect. I don't think he's a generational prospect. I don't think he's on the level of Wemby. I don't think he's AD. I don't think he's Zion. He's a standard number 1 overall pick where it's like, okay, this guy's gonna be an all-star, maybe make a couple of all NBA teams, but he's not somebody who is like, oh, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer guy. Like he's not a Wemby. And yeah, like they're just like the back half of the draft is just not good. Like there's not a lot of guys where you're like, oh, these guys could like maybe fit onto contenders or like they could be useful to teams. It's just kind of like if the Knicks got somebody who could be like a rotation player from like pick 35 onward, I would be very, very pleased. Like the chances of that happening to me are fairly low. Also
the second round pick we gave up is in this
their pick.
Which they've effectively like they could have had the 31st pick, but they decided to win ball games with Killian Hayes. So now it's like the 39th pick, which
37th, yeah.
Yeah, which is fucking stupid. So I kind of just don't care. And we're going to get a first round pick that we can trade away again this summer. And we can acquire, kind of like what Phoenix did, we can acquire some random bullshit protected first somehow. And then that frees up 2 more picks for us to trade. And before you know it, oh shit, you can trade 2 or 3 picks. You have all your swaps. You have the Deuce contract. You have Cat. Oh my God, are we getting Giannis? So like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? There's so many ways for Brock Aller to pull a fucking rabbit out of his hat. And as a fan base that's seen it for like whatever it is 5 years in a row, why are we like panicking? Brock Aller has done this in front of us like 4 separate times.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like I think we talked about like kind of a lot of the angles of this game and general contract discussion. The Knicks play again on Thursday. I think they start their West Coast trip. So they start their West Coast trip on Thursday against the Lakers.
What's that?
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, today's Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, great. A 10 o'clock start. Fantastic.
Oh, boy. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next time. All right, peace.